You don't need to earn 6 or 7 figures to build wealth. What really separates those who stay stuck living paycheck to paycheck from those who create financial freedom is how they manage their money. After 15 years working in accounting and finance and studying rich people like Warren Buffett and reading classics like The Millionaire Next Door, I've learned the exact strategies the 1% use to manage their money to not only create wealth but to keep it. In this video, I'm going to break down how to manage your money like the 1% using a powerful strategy that changed the way that I approach my finances and it shifted my money mindset too. Hey, I'm Davina and welcome to my finance corner. After 15 years working in accounting and finance, I've learned a lot from my career and my personal finance journey. And on this channel, we'll talk all things money in a way that's simple and relatable. Let's get into it. Most budgets focus on your covering your wants and needs, like the typical 50-30-20 rule. But the 60-30-10 budget flips it and focuses on building wealth first. And that's the strategy we're going to break down in this video. So whether you're just starting to get your finances in order or you're in a good place and ready to start building wealth, this is the perfect place to start. So in this strategy, 60% of your income goes towards financial goals. So that's saving, investing, and paying off debt. This is where the 1% start. They don't wait until after spending on brunch or shopping to save or invest. They do it first. They invest before they spend, they pay themselves first, they build assets, they avoid consumer debt, and they focus on their net worth, not just their income. Take inspiration from the book The Millionaire Next Door. Most millionaires don't look rich. They live modestly, save consistently, and they build wealth quietly. So let's break this down into steps that you can actually follow. So step one, pay off consumer debt. To build wealth, you need capital. So you need to eliminate anything that's gonna stop your money from growing. So if you've got consumer debt like credit cards, payday loans, or other high interest debt, make it a priority to pay it off. Start by listing all of your debts in order of their interest rate and then pick a method to pay them off. You can either use the avalanche method, which focuses on paying off the smallest balances first. This is helpful because it will give you quick wins and give you motivation. Or you can use the avalanche method, which focuses on paying off the highest interest debt first. This will save you money in the long run. The avalanche method is the smartest choice financially, but just focus on the method that you will stick with consistently because that's what matters most. Step two, start saving. Now, I know most people will tell you to just purely focus on debt, but I don't really agree with that. So I would say if you have no savings and you're still paying off debt, I recommend still putting something aside, even if it's just 50 or £100 a month. Because the reality is, even if you've decided to improve your finances, life still happens, right? Your boiler could break down, your car might need repairs. And this small buffer can stop you from going further into debt. So then once your debt is paid off, then you can focus on building your emergency fund. Start with 1 month's worth of living expenses, then aim for 3 to 6 months. Keep these savings in a high interest savings account and make sure that it's easy to access because you don't want anything to get in the way if you need to access that money. Because imagine losing your job and being able to cover your bills without stress. That's what this cushion does. It gives you breathing room, peace of mind, and confidence that you can take care of yourself. Step three, start investing. This is where the magic happens, where your money starts working for you. The 1% don't just save, they put their money into assets that make their money through capital gains and compound interest. This is literally how the rich get richer. And you can do this too, even if you're just starting out. When I first started out, I could only afford to put aside £250 a month to invest. And over time, that grew into a 5 figure portfolio with very little effort. I'll be honest with you. When I first started investing, I was scared. I kept telling myself, I don't have money to waste because I had a fear that I would lose my money in the stock market. I had such a scarcity mindset, like I needed to hold on to all of my money just in case something happened. But eventually I realized that fear was holding me back. I was earning money, but I wasn't putting my money in places to grow. And the reality is, while that money was still sitting in my savings account, it was slowly losing money due to inflation. And that's when it clicked. I had to stop just saving my money and put my money into places to grow. So if you're new to investing, I know it can feel intimidating or overwhelming, or you may feel like you don't know where to start. But just keep it simple. Start with index funds and ETFs. These are the best options for beginners because they are diversified. So you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket. They're low cost, so you're not losing your money to high fees. And they perform well over time. See, this is how the 1% think differently. They don't ask, how much did I earn this month? They ask, how much did my wealth grow this month? That's the difference between living paycheck to paycheck and building financial freedom. So even if you're on a low income, it's more about being consistent than investing large amounts of money. So just start with what you can afford and increase it as your income grows. Make sure you use the right account. If you're in the UK, look into a stocks and shares ISA. If you're in the US, look into a Roth IRA. These accounts will let your investments grow tax-free, so you get to keep more of your money. So the next step in the strategy is the 30%, and this is where you use your income towards needs. So this bucket goes is for your essential expenses, so things like your rent, your mortgage, your utilities, transport, anything that you actually need to survive each month. Where people usually go wrong is they include everything in this category. But let's be real, Netflix and Amazon Prime are not needs. If you strip it back, your true essential expenses are probably less than you might think. And here's where lifestyle creep can sneak in. You get a raise and suddenly you're driving a nicer car, moving into a bigger flat, and before you know it, you're still broke just with nicer stuff. And I've been there. I remember getting a bonus at work, and the first thing I did was go and buy a Louis V bag because I told myself I deserve it. But after a while, that excitement wore off and I was still in the same place financially. And that moment really stuck with me because I realized I wasn't using my money to move forward. I was just spending it to feel good in the moment. And that's when I started studying how the 1% actually manage their money. And I realized they cap their lifestyle. They don't upgrade every time their income goes up. They keep their living expenses in check and use that gap to build wealth. Most people spend 70% of their income on needs, but with this method, we're capping it at 30%. And I know it can feel like a small amount, but you can make it work. Here's how. Start with an expense audit. Look at your bank statements and go through your numbers and see where your money is actually going. Are there things in there that aren't actually needs? Can you see areas where you're overspending that you can cut back on? To make the biggest impact, I would say focus on cutting the big three. That's housing, food, and transportation. This is where most households spend the largest portion of their income. So housing, can you negotiate your rent? Can you downsize or get a roommate? Or can you move back in with your parents? I know that might be tough, or that may not be an option for some, but if it is, that's a good way to save money on your housing expenses. Transport, can you switch to a cheaper car? Can you drive less or use public transport? Food, can you meal plan? Can you shop at budget grocery stores or can you use loyalty cards? I use a Nectar card at Sainsbury's and that helps me save a lot of money. So this isn't about cutting back on everything, it's about being intentional so that you can create space in your budget to build wealth. Now here's the truth. If you want to build wealth, you may have to make some short-term sacrifices now to set your future self up for success. And I know it might feel uncomfortable, but trust me, in the long run, you will thank yourself in the future. And if you need help putting this budget together, I've got a budget template in the description box below and you can grab a copy for free. Now, the last portion of the strategy is the 10%, and this goes to your wants. You can allocate this portion of your budget to having fun. This is where you get to enjoy your money guilt-free because you've already taken care of your goals and essentials. Most people do this backwards. They spend money on fun first, then wonder why there's nothing left to save. But you're doing it like the 1% now. So set yourself a monthly allowance. It could be £50, £100 or £200, whatever works for your budget. And you can use it on a weekend trip, a concert, or a theatre night, dinner with friends, or even that new bag you've been eyeing. When I was in the trenches trying to get my finances together, I gave myself a £200 monthly fun budget. And it helped me stay on track with my goals and it kept me from feeling deprived and derailing my progress. Because the goal isn't restriction, it's to spend with intention. You don't want to feel like you're just working to pay your bills. So you should be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Just do it in a way that doesn't sabotage your future goals. So this is what really sets the wealthy apart. It's not just how they manage their money, it's also their money mindset. And even if you're not making six figures yet, you can adopt this mindset now. So that way, when your income increases, you'll be able to build wealth fast because you would have already incorporated those money habits. So here's how the 1% think differently. They use that as a tool, not a trap. They avoid lifestyle creep. They focus on their net worth, not their income. They build multiple streams of income and they think about the long game. They're not buying designer clothes or flashy cars trying to impress anyone. They're building assets, investing consistently, and setting themselves up for freedom, not financial stress. And you could do the same no matter where you're starting from. Managing your money like the 1% isn't just about how much you earn, it's about how you think. You don't need to be rich to build wealth. You just need to start thinking like someone who does. The 60-30-10 rule helps you focus your money where it matters most so you can stop getting by and start building wealth. Let me know in the comments, what's one change you're making to manage your money like the 1%? If you found this video helpful, check out my other video, how to live below your means and spend like the 1%. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the free budget template I've linked in the description box below. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.